So it said, all right, we're live here. So we're gonna wait till all the channel. If you want to check the YouTube, hello everybody. We're gonna go ahead and start in a few minutes. Welcome to the Levels of Man. If you want to check that YouTube and put it on your page, we give you time to do that real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pull up this here. We got an awesome show tonight. Roland, what's going on?
Everything is wonderful, my brother. I've been spending all week trying to fix up my house, trying to do business with our folks, and which is challenging in itself.
Right.
But yeah, other than that, you go through trials and tribulations, and you keep it moving, and so it all works out in the end.
Right. Well, that's going to be another subject about doing business with our folks. That's definitely a good topic.
Yeah, that's a real good topic.
Good topic. So we got a great show tonight. We got Simone Rose representing her podcast, Notebooks and Coffee. Welcome, Simone. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
That's great. That's great. So you got a chance to look at that YouTube, to see that YouTube on there?
Oh, wait, I don't know what I just did.
And while she's working on that, those who is coming on live, welcome. We got a great show tonight. Great topic. Roland, we are on 3 platforms tonight. We're on Levels of Man. We on YouTube. No, you know what? We're not on YouTube. I'm sorry.
Okay. Because I'm like, wait.
I just looked at it. No. We are on YouTube. I see the symbol there. So let me, real quick, y'all. Let me go to that YouTube page.
Well, you send me the link, because
yeah, I'm gonna send you the link. We want to make sure everybody get a chance to see this here. Let me see. Levels of Man. Come on. Let me see. Am I on that? Yeah. I'm supposed to be live on that page, but I don't see it. It said YouTube.
Yeah, I'm on YouTube now and I don't see it.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is probably go to my, let me see, Levels of Man. I'm gonna see that. Yeah, I don't see it. Last time it was just popped up, it was right there on my page. Let me go to the other page on Facebook. Hey, Roland, you can go ahead and talk to the live people, those who coming on, while I check this real quick.
I don't see nobody on yet, but
okay.
Anyway, yeah, I'm looking right now. I don't see nobody on yet.
All right. Let me go to. I don't think they have to subscribe to my McLaren Enterprise production though. Wow, I don't see that on there. Let me see live.
Oh, I can see me on Facebook.
You can see me on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
I can see me on Facebook, just
but
not on.
Is it on the Levels of Men though, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to hey there. Yeah, we got some people. We got 3 people I'm showing rolling. Hello everybody. How you doing? How you doing? We're starting soon. Someone's lost the trash for another person. Hey there. Well, welcome those who coming on. Give us 1 second. We want to check something out on YouTube.
I don't see nobody.
I am just don't know why this thing is not showing live on. I gotta make sure I get this taken care of. I do not want a lot of people to miss this conversation tonight.
They'll be able to replay it though, right?
Oh yeah, definitely be able to replay it. Yeah, definitely be able to replay it. Let me check one more thing and we're gonna go and get started.
Okay.
And sometimes it's delayed too.
Yeah, because I don't see nobody on.
Yeah. All All right. Well, my apologies for the format of YouTube and also the McClam Enterprise Production page. Reason why we did that because we wanted to make sure we get more people to watch this other than who has not members on the page, Levels of Man. So we got to work on that.
You can still add it, can't you?
Well, I don't want to add it when we live because we may lose it.
No, I mean later.
We can. So I can see the numbers of people on right now. So thank you everybody who's on there. Thank you for being on the show right now. The Levels of Man Friday night discussion, and right now we're talking about closing out the mental health and wellness, and we got our special guest Simone Rose. So Simone, how you doing?
I am good. How are you?
I am doing great. Roland, what's going on, man?
Everything's wonderful, young man. Actually, I'm looking forward to hearing from Simone.
That's right.
Conversation.
So before we went live, everybody, we were telling Simone about the Levels of Man, and those who coming on gonna watch this as a replay. A lot of Simone's followers gonna be watching this as a replay. We apologize for not being able to take care of the situation. You guys can watch it live. But welcome to all the followers of Simone and her podcast. We welcome you to watching this video. So we were telling her about the purpose of Levels of Men. You know, Roland, many times as men, we go through trials to reach that level of manhood, and we talk about it in the group. So we start off with being in the nurturing side, right? And as we start to grow and become that adolescent to that young man to the man we're going to be, then reach that manhood. But it takes a lot of levels to reach that manhood. So and then so we make a lot of mistakes, and then a lot of times we get involved with women in our lives that we affect in a positive way or negative way. So tonight we're gonna talk about some of those things that we have left in a previous relationship in a way that affected that woman in a negative way. So with that saying, I want to show you guys a clip. Now I'm gonna hold off for that clip. I want to show you guys or let you guys listen to one of Simone's podcasts, and that's why we have her on tonight. We want to dig in and learn more from her on the mental awareness side. So I'm going to share my screen here. And give me 1 second. Share. All right, you guys see that?
Yes.
All right. And let's go and get this thing started here.
Hey, what's up? I'm Simone Rose, and you're listening to the Notebooks and Coffee podcast, where we talk about real life and your mental health. As you know, I'm not a licensed therapist. However, each week I get on here and I share my stories with you in hopes that I can encourage at least one of you to share yours. That being said, grab your cups and let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't know how long this particular episode is going to be, but it was on my spirit to kind of talk about it for a little bit. And it is playing victim and how playing victim messes with your mental health and your ability to move forward in life. I don't know who needs to hear this, but your story is not a sob story.
And that's what I want to start right there because give y'all that cliffhanger. Very enough information to listen to make sure you go back and follow her. Shia, how many episodes you on right now?
40. It'll be 48 on Wednesday.
48 episodes, and that was the number 38. Are you done playing victim? Now that's deep. That's deep. I know we're gonna dive into this here, but I cut it off at the point where they say your story. It's basically everyone has a story. Are you willing to share that story? And that's what Simone is all about, being very candid about her life. And we're going to go right into those questions there. So, Simone, once again, thank you so much for being on the show. And we're going to go ahead and ask you the first question about where did the name Notebooks and Coffee come from? I got my coffee, by the way.
So, believe it or not, Notebooks and Coffee was not supposed to be a podcast. I also do resumes, and I got the name from my sister because that was going to be my resume company name, Notebooks and Coffee. But I decided some years down the road that I wanted to start a podcast, and I just never let go of the name.
Mm. Wow. You know, when so you a coffee drinker though?
Sometimes she's a coffee drinker.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So
Simone.
she actually came up with the name. But it kind of stuck with me no matter what. Whenever I tried to change the name or thought about a different name, it just didn't work.
Right. I think it's Roland, what you think of that name? I really think it's a eye catcher, man.
Yeah, it's a cute name. It fits. It fits.
Because you got to think about there's a lot of coffee drinkers, man, and then with coffee, you always got conversation. You know,
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, those who live in the DMV area, especially in the Fort Washington area, there used to be a place I used to always go to. It used to call Coffee and Conversation, right? And that place would go there, it had basically nice couches out. It's just really nice place where it just promotes conversation, relaxation, and just reading your book, newspaper, whatever. But I think about every time I think of your name, I think about that place. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I'm a big fan, like I was telling you before, I'm a big fan of yours about listening to the episodes. I'm learning more about myself, learning about others, and as well as men who may go through other mental awareness stuff, that are mental health issues where they don't want to admit, but they need to admit it and to get the help, the rightful help they need. So
I did a series for men.
Say again?
I did a series for men.
Did you?
Back in November or December.
Is that title I saw? It saying we got
explain it.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that. So, you know, you're a beautiful woman. You know, are you single, married? The men want to know: are you single, married, engaged?
I am single, but I am not emotionally available.
Right. Ooh, Roland, did you catch that?
Yes, I did, and you don't hear that too much.
Yeah, that's why I said, woo.
You don't. No, let me say it this way: you don't hear that admitted too much. You don't hear anybody admit that too much.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
So not that there's anything wrong with me, but like so emotionally available means for me, like one, the person that my heart is connected to, we're just not together right now. Right. We are both in the process of growing, and he's learning himself, I'm learning me, and then we'll meet in the middle. But right now just isn't the right time for us to be together.
No, I like that. That's deep. Is that something that you guys agreed upon? You know, you get yourself right, he get himself right, then we meet in the middle.
So initially, no. Initially, it was we kind of jumped in feet first.
Right.
And things were like moving really, really fast.
Right.
So he kind of took a step back and realized that it was too much in a sense, like he just wasn't ready.
How did that make you feel when he said that? Okay, when you jumped in that pool, man, y'all jumped in that pool together. Like, oh, the water's cold and everything, but y'all grabbing on each other. But you realize while you guys swimming, you realize, you know what? I like this here, but it is too much right now for me. So when he told you that, huh?
I wanted to choke him.
Oh, you wanted to show? Oh, you wanted to choke him?
Yeah.
So
I did.
Why? Just why you want to choke? Because what?
Because so I meet this man who pretty much like literally knows within like the first 45 days that I was it for him. And when we got around each other, everything was there, but then he got scared and then life happened and it was just too much going on. So he pulled away and I was like, well, okay, that's fine. I don't run from anything or anyone, but I feel like for me, I would have wanted to know that up front. Somebody said, hey there, hey.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But for me, I would have liked to have known that up front so that I didn't put my all in.
Right.
Initially, because I'm an all or nothing type of person.
Right.
Like I don't half love you. I don't half like you. Either I like you or I don't. Either I love you or I don't. So for me, when I say I'm emotionally available, I haven't turned that off yet in terms of him.
Right. So that's good because that's still fascinating because that emotion is very key, what I'm saying, to really get to know somebody into your heart, allow that person to get close to your heart. Because somebody may try to holler at you, and that's, I'm saying, I'm the old school and say holler, my bad. What do people say today?
Don't tell me lying.
Right. But my thing is, so when they try to get to know you, whatever, you may think they look attractive, but you know what? Before I even try to go that route, I don't even want to go that route because it takes too much to go there. Because I'm still tied to this other guy emotionally, so I'm gonna hold back. So there's no need for me to waste your time. I'm just gonna do things by myself. So leading to that, knowing that you're emotionally not available, but now are you doing things by yourself, or when you want to do things, you're doing more with your girls?
Both. Yeah, both, honestly. With my girls and sometimes by myself.
Right. And you okay? So we got some people coming on. Hey, Gail, what's going on? So yeah, Gail said this is real talk. It happens a lot in relationships. So welcome, Gail, to the show.
Hi, Gail.
She's one of our faithful listeners and coming on to the show there. So welcome, Gail. So yeah, your podcast. So what made you? I mean, you got 40-something episodes. Where all this come from? Where did the root to it actually made you start wanting to express yourself?
So I held on to the idea for like 2 years. But I've always had this thing, I guess you could say, I love to talk. And I don't mind talking about myself or my issues. But what I noticed in the Black community in particular is that we don't really talk about mental health. And I hadn't figured out whether it was because we were ashamed of it or because it wasn't okay for us. Because when people look at Black folks, they automatically think like strong or like built to last and tough, and we exude that. So we don't really talk about stuff that hurts out of fear, pride, shame, whatever. And that wasn't me. I was like, well, look, I'll talk about it. I like having uncomfortable conversations.
Well, hey, let's go there tonight then, because I know people want to learn more about this mental awareness and mental health thing. Because, like you said, we as Black in our culture, we don't really talk about it. Well, I know when I was growing up, Roland, you can let me know with your generation. It was, to me, we didn't really talk about our emotional problems. We didn't have a place to go to dump our information off. That's why when I was going through what I was going through, Roland, I was able to call you and to be able to have you as that person that I can talk to. You know what I'm saying? That really helped me out. So, like you said, Simone, we don't have that. We don't have that in the Black community. And then when we tried to, that was one of my questions. You was able to talk on that level of feeling uncomfortable conversations, but did that make people around you uncomfortable, or even your family uncomfortable, saying, "Oh man, there goes Simone. We can't talk about our issue right now because she may put it on the podcast or whatever."
No, because my friends and my family know I'm gonna talk about it.
Right.
I may not say your name, but the majority of my episodes are about me. There are some that are about me, and other people have listened to them and they felt like they were about them. But that's not going to take away from me talking about it. If you feel like I'm talking about you, if the shoe fit, lace it up and wear it. Like, it's not going to change.
Right.
The show still aired.
Yeah, because you're not the only one going through that situation too. They're going through it too. And you're just brave enough to talk about it, and you're hitting their nerve.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, you should be. Yeah,
I'm fine with that. I think the only person, I won't say who had an issue with anything that I talked about, but it was stuff that she didn't necessarily know. There's a lot of stuff that people didn't know about me that has come out, and they're like, well, why didn't you tell me? Or I didn't know this is how you felt. And at that time, like, I was younger and didn't really know how to express myself. Now, it is what it is. You will get whatever is coming out of this mouth, good, bad, or indifferent.
Now, with that here, okay, in the beginning, you were trying to find that safety net to be able to talk about your emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now you're at a point like, you know what? I'm gonna give it to anybody, whether they want to hear it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Do that affect your relationship with men? Or do you feel? Do the men feel like you coming off too strong, or can they? Or they need a buffer?
Um, First of all, if you're a grown man, I'm not giving you no buffer. I'm not. I'm sorry. You are a grown man. You not getting no buffer out of me. But believe it or not, so the guy that I was talking about earlier,
Mm-hmm.
we connected from him listening to my podcast.
Okay.
And because I was able to be so open and so vulnerable, like that was one of the things that he loved. But I'm always honest. I don't really have a filter. And I get it honest. I get it from my mother and my father. I just say whatever it is that comes out. I'm not one of those people that thinks first and then acts later.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the complete opposite. Like I'm the smaller version of Medea. I shoot first and then ask questions later. So I'm gonna tell you how I feel, and then if you feel some type of way after, we can talk about it. But that's not gonna change how I feel.
Right. Roland, you over there kind of quiet, man. What's going on, man? You need. Hey, you want no men that need a buffer?
Huh? No, I don't need no buffer. You know, I don't need no buffer. I'm an old man. I definitely say what I need to say. Hey, but I got a question. So what does being a victim look like? What does that look like?
Somebody who always has this woe is me attitude, like no matter what, there's always something wrong with them. That it could be like a perfect 75-degree day, the sun is shining, no rain, like you just hit the lotto, you happy, or it appears that you're happy, but you'll find something to be upset about. Like find something somehow, some way to like just turn that good day into a negative.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of people like that. There are a lot of people that will say, well, this happened to me when I was 7, so I'm gonna hold on to it for the rest of my life. In some way, somehow, no matter how old they are or what they're going through at that particular point in their life, it's gonna revert back to when they were 7.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? You're absolutely right. This person can be like 40-some years, 30-some. If they see that person that made them feel at that point, they're gonna revert back to that 7 that episode in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Not even have grown or thought they have grown. But when they see that person or something trigger, they go back to that episode. You know what happened? I mean, you say you by listening to your podcast, you say you go to talk to somebody, you go to a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel about doing that? That helped you out? Do that? Do you go once a week? So tell us about that.
I just got off the phone with my therapist.
Really?
So every Saturday morning at 11:30, we talk via FaceTime, or I will go to her every now and then. But I have to tell her, like, I'm not going to make it out there tomorrow. We can meet via FaceTime, but it's every week.
So that's good. So with the month of May being of mental health awareness, what do you want to show or hope people can get out of your podcast or just mental health awareness?
Own who you are. Honestly. Like acknowledge the fact that you are not perfect. You are very much human, and you go through things just like everybody else.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I was watching a YouTube. I was doing my research today, preparing for this conversation. Now watching 2 young couples on YouTube, and they was having this podcast similar to what you're doing. The guy, it was an interracial couple, black woman, white male, and the white male had bipolar. He's had bipolar. He was diagnosed as having bipolar, right? And the black female had anxiety issues. So I was listening to them how they basically talk about he needs to take some medication. Once he takes his meds, he's fine. But they was talking about steps what you need to do to better yourself. And one thing they said, have a good support system, take your medication. And the guy said something key, Roland. He said, not only listen to your pastor, but go to a therapist. Go to a therapist and get and listen to both sides. Because I thought it was pretty interesting he said that. Because a lot of time you gotta understand, pastors are not well, I say licensed or whatever to give certain advice for that. So they gotta be very careful.
Exactly. That's not their job anyway. They're spiritual advisors, not psychological analysts.
Mm-hmm. Dealing with
That's two different things.
Exactly. And so but there's some tapping some have done.
They do it.
So I thought that was very interesting when that guy said that. And but they was talking about there, and I was thinking when I was watching these two, Simone and Roland, is like, wow, will this couple last? Because they both, but one thing they said, people always think mental health awareness, mental health, whatever. And then we want to talk about this here. What are the right words to say? Because, technically you don't want to say the wrong thing. Do you say mental illness, issues, or what? So my thing is these two having these issues, I was thinking, are they going to last? Then I was like, yes, go ahead.
So there's a difference. There's a difference. People don't realize there is a difference between mental health and mental illnesses.
Okay.
Depression, and anxiety are part of your mental health. Schizophrenia is a mental illness.
Okay.
So there's a difference. Bipolar disorder kind of teeters that line between mental illness and mental health. It's like on that very, very thin line. But that, to me, and this is just me personally, there are no wrong words or terms for me. I feel like if you crazy, you crazy. I don't care how long you can be schizophrenic. If you crazy, you crazy. It is what it is. But I feel like we sugarcoat it too much. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the issues. Like, we try to sugarcoat, what's the right verbiage to use for this? Just say what it is. You talk to yourself. Okay, you talk to yourself. You got multiple personalities. Okay, you got like 8 people that you talking to. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is with that, Roland, you smiling. What you want to say?
Because I was just laughing because I talk to myself.
I do too.
Look, I talk to myself too. Hey, look, let me tell you something. There's a lot of people talking to themselves during this COVID pandemic break. So Gail said, why don't men seek therapy along with the women if there's a problem in the relationship? If there's some deep-rooted issue they both are individually dealing with before they came into the relationship. That's true too. We were talking earlier before we went live, it's very important to deal with those issues before you get into another relationship. And then, like you said, you're not emotionally available at the time. Because there's a lot of people don't want to be alone, so they're jumping these relationships and know they still got some issues going on.
That's a good one right there.
Yeah, that's what it happens right there. So, but a lot of time, men and Simone, we had this picture of Adam and Eve in the group. So what I was trying to portray there is that, and I'm gonna try to tie it in what Gail was saying. Mm-hmm. Why don't men go to therapy? It's a lot of time. It's a lot of men don't have a lot of trust. We have a lot of trust issues. So I was saying about in the Adam and Eve picture, I was saying this is what I was saying about men has been too passive. Are we still in the Adam syndrome of being too passive, allowing the woman to make a decision, do everything? A lot of times, women want a man to lead, make a decision, do things. You know what I'm saying? Protect love. Not saying they don't protect love, but a lot of time we get on the back row and get passive. It's like, whatever you want to do, just go ahead and do it, And then that's tiresome to a woman who's doing everything. So my thing with this here, I tie it into the group and I look at it. The statistics shows we have maybe like 49% or maybe 49% women and 38 men or something like that. Mm-hmm. Or maybe just difference. But it's more women in the group than men. Then also, if you think about it, it's more women talking in the group than men.
Exactly.
And that's what I was trying to show in that Adam and Eve's, that we men got to start stepping up in our leadership role, in our communication, interacting. We always want to put the backbone and let the woman just go and handle everything. But if we do that in our relationship and in our marriages, guess what? It's going to be issues. Guess what? They're going to meet a woman like you, going to get tired of cooking all the time, or getting tired of taking the kids to daycare, getting tired of cleaning up the house. It's a it's a 50-50 thing. You got to work together, you know. But and I'm gonna say the woman got to do everything by themselves. It's supposed to work as a partnership, collaborate, you know. So it's a lot of men just sitting back on a burner, which I see in this group that I want to encourage them in. Then again, I also have to remind myself, we men like to make sure we get to the point where we can trust one another to be able to talk.
Well, I've never been married, but whatever happened to 100? You only got 50 in you?
Yeah, I heard that too. 50-50 is more, it should be 100, which I agree. I agree with that. You know, Simone, you I see you. I don't know if you want to say what I said about the cooking thing.
I cook. I don't mind cooking.
Yeah.
I don't mind being submissive to my husband whenever I get married.
Right.
What I'm not gonna do is be leading my household. Like that ain't what I'm here for.
That's good. That's good. You know, and that's so, Gail. My thing with that, men, we why they don't go to therapy. This is my opinion. First, we got to learn how to really come to terms that we have an issue. Got to identify we have an issue, and a lot of times, well, I think we know we have an issue, but we're afraid or we're embarrassed to go out there and talk to somebody. I'm gonna give you an example. Now, Small, you said you go to a therapist, you talk to her on a regular.
Mm-hmm.
My first time, I went to go see a therapist. My first time was what year was that? Maybe 2017. I was going through we had a lot of stuff. I was going through a lot in my family and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I literally had to call. I wanted to talk to somebody. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think I knew you at the time. Maybe I knew of you, but we didn't kick it like that yet. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I needed to talk to somebody other than the people that knew me. So, Simone, this is what it was. I had to talk to somebody who didn't know me, that don't be biased. I just had to go talk to somebody. And said that when I chose a therapist, I said, I don't want to talk to a woman, I want to talk to a man, right? Mm-hmm. So they paired me up with a black man. I thought it was great. I was like, good. But I was talking to him, and I learned, Roland, that I didn't mind expressing my feelings and talking. I was like, man, this is healthy. This is good. And to the point where I felt like I was talking too much. He was like, all right, that's time. But I enjoyed the talk, though. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think, what did you get that from you, Simone? When you do your podcast, do you find that it's therapeutic for you as you're talking in your podcast?
Well, I like to talk anyway. But for me, it is like it's a release outside of therapy because I go to therapy on Saturdays. I record. I'm supposed to record on Sundays. It don't always work out like that. Right. Sundays I wake up Tuesday morning and record. Okay. But it's a release for me. Like I need to get it out.
It's just got to get out. So, Roland, have you what do you think about that? As far as that, she said she had to get released to get it out. You know,
that's how that spiritually speaking, which is what I'm always coming from. That's how you get healed. Getting it out.
Getting it out.
That's right. And see, me, I keep everything you said. I'm just the opposite. I'm not sharing anything with no stranger that I don't know. Mm-hmm. Now, once we've cultivated a relationship and we can talk, then I'll talk to that person there. But I don't cast my pearls before swine with anybody. That's just me.
So what I'm learning, like with men, it takes a lot for y'all to open up. A lot, like damn near like pulling teeth. Sometimes.
Yeah, you're right.
It is, but I will say this, and I did an episode on this maybe a couple weeks ago. But so we as women, and I got a lot of what is it, flack, is that the word for this? But we as women, or we as Black women, have a tendency to down our men. So we don't really make it easy for y'all to be like, oh, well, babe, let me tell you about my day, or let me tell you what I'm going through. Because we're so quick to say, men ain't this, or Black men don't do this, but we don't really talk about what they do. Right. And if you're constantly beating somebody down, like I don't want to talk to you.
Right.
And a man has to trust that he can share without having that going on.
Yeah.
I think that's key. If you got, if you really showing that to your man that he's okay to talk to you, I mean, you're gonna find him that he gonna be really open to talk to you about
Yeah,
anything.
that's true.
You know what I'm
If he
saying?
can, if he can trust you, he'll talk to you for
Oh
real.
yeah, and that's key. You're absolutely right because we get bombarded so much at work and just in life, on media, social media, everything. You know what I'm saying? We just want to come home to somebody we can trust and not continue to beat us down.
You want
You know what
peace?
I'm saying? We need that safe haven. We need that in our women. So that's good. That's good. So speaking of women, I want to show you guys a clip, and I want to show is that there was this woman. Was it the man's fault that this woman act like this here? Was she born like this here, or whatever? So I want to show you guys this clip. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
And we're gonna give the definition of the title of this too. 1 second here.
Okay.
Let's see which one is it. Not that one. All right, here we go.
Forever. That's what he said. You don't know
We
what
don't
he
see
did.
it.
You don't know
We don't see it.
how charming.
You don't see it?
No.
I can hear it.
All right, let's go back to it again.
There we go.
All right, let's go back to it again.
Forever.
You see it?
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do y'all think about that? I come off the
She need
screen here.
Jesus.
We just seen the definitions on there, anger and bitterness.
She need Jesus. There wasn't
Yes.
nobody but her and her miserable sisters.
And so so you think it's the woman? So she was So a lot of people may say that was the man's fault of what he did to make her like that. But my thing is, do you think a lot of people may be walking on? Not a lot of people, but my thing is, some people have some things in them they got triggers that cause that to happen, to come out the way she responded.
Okay, so what exactly did he do though? Like,
No, you know what? Let me say this, because okay, let me help. That's the picture I was talking about,
Okay.
and the first thing I told Akiva is that I think that he did it, but in thinking about it, he did have a part in it. But I don't think it's his fault though, because he met her when he was young, and he was just doing what young people do, and she didn't believe in him at the end. That's where she lost at.
Right.
She didn't believe in him at the end, and she lost him. And then when she found out that he could do what he said he could do, then she wanted him back. So yeah, it was on her, her wrong
Don't
thinking.
answer my question. What exactly did he do? They were young when they fell in love. He had this idea and he worked on it his whole life. What did he do that was so wrong?
No, he didn't do nothing wrong. She she was wrong. She was wrong-headed by thinking that what he said he could do, he couldn't. Finally, she gave up, right?
She didn't have faith in him from the beginning. And
Exactly.
outsiders come in and dictate her marriage. You don't
Right.
But I will say this: he was taking money from her, all kinds of money. He broke her financially.
So when you say
He broke her emotionally too. He broke her.
yeah, so let's think about the levels of man. Even though that was a man that dealt with that woman, he done moved on. And there's a lot of women that are broken now in past relationship because a man probably broke them, and they done moved on to another relationship, right? So that's what we talk about levels of man as we now reaching that manhood. One of our levels, we look in the mirror and really got to look at to say, I apologize or I ask for forgiveness and things like that. But what that woman now got to get to that point where she got to get help because that man have affected her.
Wasn't she going to therapy?
Yeah, I'm talking about not the woman in the movie. No, I'm just talking about in women now.
In general, I got you.
Yeah. So my thing is, they're gonna have to learn how to get help, like you said, therapy before they go to another relationship. Because they don't, like we talked about, Simone, it's gonna be that repeat episode, keep going over and over.
Yeah.
Get overgeneralize every man that she meet.
I've been broken before by a man, but I don't want to be broken for the rest of my life.
Wow. So did it take you a while to trust men again with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was in a relationship for 5 years where I was verbally abused and cheated on, and it got physical once. but more so like mental and verbal abuse. And I didn't like people afterwards.
Oh, you know what? It's funny you brought that up because not funny, but my thing is looking at your podcast and it's
Mhm,
talking about some of the things that your home screen. You talked
mhm,
about fertility. You talked about domestic violence.
mhm,
You talked about buildings and things like that. So let's talk about that. You said the domestic violence. So it
mhm,
got physical at some time. So you've been in a relationship that it got physical, domestic
mhm.
violence. Yeah. So a lot of those cases that what are the signs of that? You know, are there any signs that you think back and play back now that you saw that you realize like, oh man, I saw it, but I ignored it.
So he cheated,
Mm,
and I caught him cheating, and I, in the midst of me talking to the woman that he was cheating on me with, or that he had cheated on me with, I literally took his phone and I threw it at him. And I had just asked the young lady, like, are you sleeping with him? And as she was saying yes, he was coming behind me and like literally choked me. Um, to where it was hard for me to breathe. But I never thought that that would happen. But I guess for him, it was like fight or flight. Like I had gotten caught and she about to put me out, so I got to think of something, and that was the first thought that came to his head. I don't know.
mm,
But the verbal abuse was all the time. Like I used to get told all the time, I need to look like a stripper, or um, I need, like, Spanish women do this better, or like Spanish women are obedient. It was just a lot.
mm.
Like nobody would ever want me. It was a lot that I went
And
through.
this is what the guy was saying to you.
Mhm.
Wow. You know, what do we got to say about that? That sounded to me kind of like some controlling.
That is control.
Yeah, yeah. And I think men on the side when they try to control a woman, they really insecure,
Mhm.
But
right?
now men get broken too. So
Yeah, that's
they
true.
walk around in their brokenness and
Good point.
trying to get into their little relationships to fix things. So they do the same thing.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Broken people two broken people trying to love is not going to work
They
out.
bleed all over each other.
Bleed all over each other, man. You know, we got we had our last doctor that was on, and
Mhm.
she sent me something via email, and it's for the month of May for the mental health awareness, and she got this diagram of mental health going across, and she's saying positive thinking, happiness, activities, good mood, energy, optimism. So my thing, when you look at this stuff here, do you agree with those things? If you when you think about as we prepare our mental health, think about positive thinking. Thinking that we always got to remind ourselves to think positive all the time. Because I don't know about you guys, boy, that devil come in and try to give you that negative, you can't do this or whatever, these different ideas or different thoughts or whatever. But you got to rebuke those thoughts and start thinking positive and talk. Going back to talking to yourself,
Talk to yourself.
I
That's
like
right.
you
meditation.
got to tell yourself you can do it. I'm my biggest encourager. You know what I'm saying? I encourage myself all the time.
You're supposed to be.
And this is from Dr. Stacy Stanley, that she was one of our guests on the show. She's a doctor, she's a therapist, and things like that. Got a
Mhm.
book coming out, and so she's sitting this out about happiness, activities. You do a lot of activity, right?
I
Do.
do.
I know you travel a lot.
Yeah, I travel a lot. I meditate. I'm actually planning my next trip now.
Okay.
But yeah, I meditate. I travel a lot. I try to do stuff around the house, like, so I'm now remodeling my kitchen. Me and
Okay.
my sister are doing it by ourselves. Which I don't think I thought this through because I would have just paid somebody to do it. But
Right. Right.
yeah, I keep myself busy, but I'm really big on meditation.
Good. Good. I'm a bit of a meditation as well. I have learned meditation is a time for us to listen. To
Hmm.
listen. You know what I'm saying? Quietness and things like that. And prayer is time to talk. Well, a lot of people don't meditate.
Hmm.
Because we want to talk and ask for things. And a lot of times we don't know how to pray because we're busy asking for things instead of listening.
But if you can worry, you can meditate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my therapist she didn't like tell me how to pray,
Mm.
but So when I pray, I don't ask for anything. Like I literally will sit here and have a full blown conversation. Like this is what's going on in my life. I need you to either help me fix it or like you guide me to which way you want me to go. Because clearly I'm doing something wrong.
Mhm.
But people think it's hard to pray, and it's really not. Like I will sit in my chair. I'll be walking down the steps. I was driving one day talking to one of my girlfriends, and she was telling me about her situation, and a text message came across my phone, and it made me mad. And I was like, "Hold on, I need to talk to God because look, today is not a good day for this. So I need you to like direct my thoughts or guide me because I'm about to flip out." Like,
Yes, you know what? It's funny you say about prayer. Prayer is just like that, just having a regular conversation. You know,
mhm,
God wants us to really just be ourselves. You know, and so I pray all the time, just like how you pray. That's how I be praying. Well, all right, God, all right, I got myself in this one again. You need to help me out. I apologize. I ask forgiveness, but I need that exit route. You know what I'm
And
saying?
it's all good as long as you sit there for a little bit and let them talk back to you.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah. That's
Mm,
and that's the meditation come in too, because when we meditate, that's that listening part. If you
mhm,
truly get in depth into your spirit and you meditating, oh, you'll start listening to some things. He'll start telling you some things during that meditation, you know?
mhm.
But the thing is though, we don't take time to sit down and meditate and just be still. We always on the go, you know?
exactly.
So Dr. Stanley, the Stacy Stanley, thank you for sending me that. I shared it later in the group. Someone said in the live feed, they say if you want the right answer, you have to talk to yourself.
It be like that sometimes.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that's not far from the truth, though. You know, sometimes when I give advice to other people, I say, "Man, I gotta listen to myself sometimes." Really, because I give people good advice, but I don't take it, and
Mhm.
so I need to start taking my own advice sometime. That's
Yeah.
that's a good point.
Yeah, exactly. So going back to your podcast,
Mhm.
um, so tell the viewers of those who coming in, how can they follow you and how can they reach you and be a follower to listen to you?
So I have an Instagram and a Facebook. Both are at Notebooks and Coffee. I'm on Apple, Google Play, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast. What is it? Overcast? I think Overcast.
Mhm.
iHeartRadio. What else am I on? Anchor. I'm on a lot. I'm trying
Yes,
not
I
to
hear
sound
you.
cocky, but I'm on a lot. Trying to, so you can literally find me everywhere.
And then just search notebooks and coffee.
Just search Notebooks and Coffee. It's the word notebooks dash the letter N dash coffee. Also, if you go to my website, www.notebooksandcoffee.com, I had this really, really dope person put my website together. Her name is Ray. I don't have her contact information, but it's on my Instagram page.
Yeah, that website is looking dope. It's nice.
When I told her what I wanted, and I was just like, I just want people to be able to listen to my podcast from my page. When she sent me the link, I was like, what? Like, all
Yeah.
you got to do is click. And then I don't have to upload anything. Like, every week when my episode comes out, it automatically goes to the website. So,
What?
yeah. So if you don't have Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, whatever, all you got to do is type in my website and click on podcast, and all of them pop up.
Yeah. Wow. So I'm about to, like I said, I'm learning from you because I started my podcast. I got a podcast that I do, so I learned
Mhm.
from you about listening to you. So Tony, what's going on? Tony, that was the guy who said if you want the right answer, you have to talk to yourself. What's going on, Tony? Thanks for tuning in.
Mhm.
Another thing, do you have one or maybe a few episodes that sticks to your mind that you're like, you know what, that was tough to do, but I'm glad I did it, and you got a good response by it? Or that's the first question. Then a part two of that question: have you ever gotten a review or somebody came back and said you really truly helped me out in that situation?
Yes, to the second question. I'm
Okay.
still getting people that will email me or DM me and say, like, I needed to hear that, or I felt like you were talking to me, or it's good to know that, like, I'm not alone. Um, I actually pulled it up because I don't know all of my episodes by heart. Like, so I do the episodes and then I forget about them until somebody mentions it. The toughest episode for me, though, I would say would be episode 10.
Oh
And
wow, that's soon.
yes, episode 10. And episode 10 is called Oh No Baby. And that is where I detail my miscarriage.
Oh yeah, that's what I want to talk about. Wow, and I didn't know it, and I was listening to it. I was like, oh, I didn't never knew she'd been through that.
So last year, I found out I was pregnant. I found so oddly enough, I found out I was pregnant 2 weeks before my birthday, 3 weeks before my birthday.
Wow.
I found out January 8th that I was pregnant. My birthday is the 25th. I went to um, the doctor's office on the 23rd and I had my sonogram. First of all, I didn't even believe like I was pregnant. I
Mhm.
just thought I was late. And I took 4 pregnancy tests and they all said the same thing. So
Wow.
I needed to be sure, because I was like, all right, well, this one says yes. Let me go ahead and take another one. So, like, literally, I was just taking tests back to back to back. And then I went to the doctor and saw the heartbeat, and everything was great. Everything was fine.
Mhm.
February 7th, I I was driving home and I felt this weird, terrible cramp in my stomach. And at the time, I was 10 weeks.
Mhm.
And I got home and I went to the bathroom and I noticed that I was spotty, but that's normal.
Mhm.
In pregnancy, sometimes it's normal to spot. So I called my doctor, and the doctor was just like, just monitor it, and we'll check again in the morning. I woke up that morning and was like, no, I'm going to the hospital. It
Mhm.
wasn't worse, but I just didn't feel right. So
Right.
I got to the hospital, and that's when they did another ultrasound, and they told me that they saw the baby, but there was no heartbeat.
Wow.
So, and I detail all of this in the episode.
Right.
So, and this was on a Friday morning, and I was scheduled to have a surgery to remove the baby, which is called a DNC, on that Sunday. But like I had talked to dad about it, and I was just like, I don't know. I want a second opinion. Like I want to go back before I go through with the surgery, and then it it'd be wrong.
Right.
Like I was still in disbelief. So I went back that Monday and it was the same thing. They said that there was no heartbeat. Um, so we scheduled the surgery for that Thursday.
Mhm.
And it was a Thursday before Valentine's Day. Um, Needless to say, I did not make it to the surgery at all. The next day, while I was home watching Couples Retreat, I got that, when your mouth waters, like when you got to throw up.
Mhm.
So my mouth started doing that. And I ended up I threw up 3 times. And the third time I threw up, my body pushed the baby out. Like I
Oh.
started contracting. So I literally like just pushed it out.
Wow.
Granted, it wasn't a big baby. Like it
Mhm.
was, but you knew what it was.
Mhm.
Um, and that was tough for me to talk about because I didn't really talk about it prior to.
Right.
Like nobody knew what I was dealing with, except those that were really close to me. Like nobody
Mhm.
knew. My mom didn't know. I had to tell my mom like after the fact. Um, but it was hard to talk about, and I actually cried during that episode. And
Mhm.
I have my moments where I do talk about it and I'm okay, or I have my moments where I talk about it and I feel weak, and it's hard to talk about it.
Mhm.
But I think that was the hardest episode for me, because, like I said, it was my first time talking about it. And when I did the episode, I was sitting in my bedroom where the baby is. So I also kept it. I got a
Mhm.
baby urn, and I have this like cute little baby blanket and all of that. So I did it sitting next to um, her. I call her because I feel like my son wouldn't have came out the way that she came.
Right.
Like I felt like it was a little me, just disrespectful and didn't care. So I always say Nugget was a girl. If you ask her father, Nugget is a boy, and he fights me on it till this day. That's his son, and I'm like, all right, whatever you say. Like I'm not gonna fight you on it.
Right.
But
Right.
it was hard, and I
Yeah.
had a lot of people. I actually got a message from a young lady who experienced a miscarriage months months prior to me. And then I had one who experienced one years before me, and she still hadn't told her mom. And she was like,
Mm.
listening to your episode, it makes me comfortable enough to tell my mom. Um, so I think that was the hardest one. That
Yeah.
one, and then I think it was the second one after that. It was either 11 or 12 where I talked about healing and forgiveness because I blamed myself for losing the baby.
Oh
Um,
wow.
I did. I had lupus, or I have lupus.
Mm.
So I felt like it was me or my stressing is what killed the baby. And I had tried for years with the guy that I was in the abusive relationship with for years to get pregnant, and it did not happen at all.
Mm.
And then I finally do, and it's with somebody that I really wanted to be with, and we were good. Um, and then that happened, and I blamed God for it.
Yeah.
Like I literally was just like, well, damn. Like what else? You done put me through being sexually assaulted. You done put me through an abusive relationship. I gotta been through so much. What else you want to put me through? Cause I'm
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah. I mean, you had a whole bunch of stuff just hit you after just hitting you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at times like that, people have those moments they cry out to God and scream out to Him. But once again, that's being honest. I'm sorry about your child. It's tough because on the flip side, I don't know how your previous boyfriend felt
Mm-hmm.
or still feeling behind that. I experienced that myself. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That I wanted another child, and we were about to have another child, and we lost it in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
23 months. No, 22. No, 20, I'm sorry, 23 months.
23 weeks.
22 weeks, right? But the thing about it, though, it was premature. But the
Mm-hmm.
doctor saying they don't. This is what I learned about life, I guess, in the medical field. They said we cannot treat. They tried it. We cannot treat it until 23 weeks, but we
Mm-hmm.
don't recognize it as a life right now. So
That's
it was
the
like a
minute their
week,
heart beats,
huh?
the minute that baby heart start beating, it's a life.
Exactly. So at 22 week, we had to work another week that and for the doctor could give the baby some steroids
Mm-hmm.
because it wasn't the lungs hasn't been developed yet, right? So we ended up losing the child, but yeah, that was tough, and she had to push the
Mm-hmm.
baby out, and I saw the development of the small, about the size of my hand.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Looking at it, saw the nose, and it was a good combination of both of us,
Mm-hmm.
she and I. You know what I'm saying? So it was really tough. So I see what it's always gonna be there, but
Mm-hmm.
I named her. You know what I'm saying? We named her, so I always think about every time it's time for her in June. I always think about it. Things like that. It's
Yeah.
not a day I don't think about it, but I understand. But from a mother's side, I can't understand what you went through in that, but that loss story.
Like so February is a really tough month for me.
Mm-hmm.
I always say February, May, and September because this is my second Mother's Day, like not being a real mom, um, in essence. Then September, there was the running joke, like, so my baby was supposed to be born on September 11th. And I told dad, I was like, look, we either holding the baby in to the 12th or we forcing the baby out on the 10th. But the
Mm-hmm.
baby's not going to be born on September 11th. I'm just not doing that.
Right, right.
And so I had picked out the girl's name and he had picked out the boy's name. Um, but we were excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't my time.
Mm-hmm.
But as a woman, like you get the questions, when you gonna have a baby, or like your clock is ticking, and it's just like, shut up. Like you don't know what I'm going through.
Right, right. With that though, I would say, Roll, you got anything to say with that part? The last, at least that last part when people.
No, I don't.
Mhm,
I'm sorry to hear about both of you guys' experience.
mhm,
I've never experienced that one before. I have nothing to say about that one.
mhm. But and I thank you. But what about that last part where they said have another child and what she said? You don't know what I'm thinking. Reason why when I heard you say that, I had to. Well, I'm at 48 right now. I'm like, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try no more. I'm done.
Mhm.
But my thing with you, I'm gonna encourage you is to think positive as you pray to God. Tell God truly how you feel. Tell Him to start praying over your body even right now. Every day, pray over your body, and don't lose hope and don't lose faith in Him about that. Because that miracle baby coming. You know what I'm saying? Now I know what to pray for you about. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be on my end praying for you that'll happen.
And you got to believe it's going to happen, Simone, because it can't happen.
I
Yeah,
do.
exactly.
Everything in its time. I feel like when it's time, it'll happen.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you for sharing that with us too. Before we wrap it up, you mentioned something. I want to just touch on it. Two, I want to say, you say you're 33 years old, right? Um, what do you can tell ladies your age and your generation
Mhm.
about mental awareness and dating? Do you see that it's difficult to date in your generation, or what type of encouragement you can give them?
So this week's episode is actually going to be about that.
Oh
I
wow.
won't, I won't give it away, but I will say choose people that choose you, um,
Mm.
Ooh.
and know who you are. People, my generation tends to think that a relationship is going to solve all of your problems. Um, Being lonely, like you jump into a relationship, it's like, oh, I have this person, I'm not lonely anymore. That's not true. You can be in a relationship and still be lonely.
Mm.
So no, my thing would be know who you are, know who you are, own who you are, and know that you are worth it. Whoever you are, male or female, like know you are worth it. And don't let nobody, no other flawed human being make you feel like you're not worth it.
That's good. That's good. That's good. And
I like I like choose who choose you.
yeah, exactly.
I like that.
I like that a lot too. I'm still stuck on that part when she said, "I am not emotionally ready." I still love that. I still love that. I really do. Um, Last thing I want to touch on. You said something. I gotta go there.
Hmm.
You said you love these type of conversation. So
Hmm.
you said you were sexually assaulted, right?
Yeah.
Um, Me as a father and girls now, it's one of the worst thing I always wanted to make sure it never happened. But I mean, are you able to share that? Have you ever shared that on your podcast?
Yes.
Yeah, or did you?
It's on my podcast. So it happened when I was 14. 2 weeks before I started at high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept it to myself. I was with one of my friends at the time who made me feel comfortable around these guys. And I ended up blacking out. And when I woke up, my pants were down, like there was blood everywhere. And she was nowhere to be found.
Oh wow.
Um, but I talked about it with one of my girlfriends at the time because she was telling me, we were sitting in homeroom and she was just like real sad, like real blah looking. And I was like, well, what's wrong with you? And she told me that she had experienced it. And I was just like, oh, well, don't feel bad. Like here I am thinking it's normal around our age. Cause I was like, oh, it happened to me 2 weeks ago. We had a fire drill. And she told the guidance counselor what she was going through. And then she also told on me. So at the fire drill, my mama shows up to the school. I will never forget this day. Shows up to the school with a purple nightgown and blue pants and came and got me. Um, the guidance counselor had called her, of course, and told her this is the information that's been given to me. So I had to go through this whole process where I was taken out of school for the day. We went to my sister's house at the time because it happened in a county that I wasn't in high school. So we had to go to that county. I had to wait there for the police to come. And so I feel like I was more, and it sounds really weird, I feel like I was more humiliated at the time that everyone found out,
Right.
because it was the initial question was, well, what did you have on?
Oh wow.
I had on sweatpants and a t-shirt, but that was the first question that was asked to me.
Mm.
And then being in high school, the guy, he didn't go to my high school, but there was a guy that looked like him. So every time I saw him, I would literally run the other way.
Wow.
Um, and I was cool with all of his friends, but I just couldn't be around him. And my best guy friend, um, thank you, Gail. My best guy friend is actually friends with him, not the guy that assaulted me, but friends with the guy who I used to run from. Um,
Mm.
and it came a point where he was just like, "Why do you run like every time I come around you?" And I had to tell him, like, this was why. And he was like, "But that wasn't me." And I was like, "I get that, but you look like him. Like the build and it's different. So I can't be around you just yet." Um,
Right.
but there, I guess the thing for me is the question and like, what did you have on?
Yeah. Wow. That is terrible. That is terrible. You know, man, you've been through a lot, but I commend you for where you at now. You're still standing, you're still talking, you're still being positive, you're still living. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people probably have given up, committed suicides and things like that, all lost their mind. You
I thought
know?
about
Yeah. Yeah. So wow. You know, Roland, you got anything?
I'm
it. Sorry, that was a lot.
no, it was good though. It was good. I appreciate you sharing your story. That's what I got for you. I appreciate you sharing your story. And I meant what I said earlier. These things that you're sharing with people, it's gonna you're gonna be blessed for it. And I can already hear that you're being blessed by when people come back to you and tell you that they appreciate you sharing your story. That's one of the blessings right there. When people come back and tell you how much you've helped them.
Hmm.
So
Exactly.
so yeah, I appreciate what you're doing and sharing with us your story.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you know what? As we wrap it up here, it's been a great conversation. I know the conversation. You know, it was a lot of just really honest and hard stuff to receive, but we had to talk about it. And like Roland said, we thank you for coming on to be real, talk about your podcast, and I'm gonna continue to listen to it. You about to I fell off a little bit, but I got to get back on it. I got to go back, like I'll be follow my what they call it, benchmark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to go and start listening to it around here. So, but I really enjoy what I'm doing, what I'm listening to. I'm really enjoying them. So, thank you
Thank
for
you.
doing what you're doing. And I always say this. I still want you to be a part of these plays in the future.
I will
Actually,
do it.
yeah,
I will
actually,
do
I'll be writing a role about somebody, not somebody, but about a character.
it.
But I would love for you to help me develop this character because
Okay.
we'll be offline. We'll talk about it. But it's
Okay.
almost like that acrimony woman.
Oh, okay.
We have to develop it, our attitude and stuff like that. But other than that, what we want to do, I'm gonna put you on the full screen.
Uh-huh.
I want you to say one last thing in encouragement to whatever woman is watching, and then also think about whatever man who's going to be dating a woman or
Mhm.
dating a woman. Finish off giving them a word of encouragement as well. So if you can think about that as we put you on the full screen and we let you send it off, then we'll let you go.
Okay.
There we go.
So to all of the ladies watching, this is just real quick. You are not alone, no matter what it is that you're going through. You've heard some of my stories, not all of them. Listen to the podcast, Notebooks and Coffee. Um, there's something there for everybody. If you don't want to talk about it, you can listen to me talk about my stories. Um, to the guys, listen to my podcast. I got a whole series called Mansplain It to Me, where I have 5 or 6 different guys, and they talk about their stories and how they've dealt with different mental health issues. Also, therapy. I'm really, really big on therapy. Ladies and gentlemen, go to therapy. Talk to somebody. Talk to me. Um, just get it out. It's no sense in holding it in. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will catch y'all later.
Hold on a second there. Let's see.
All right, Simone.
Edit. Hello, I'm trying to get you back off the. Well, oh, here we go. I got to go to the top here. Exit the layout. Well, that was awesome. That was awesome. Simone, we want to thank you for coming to the episode, man. You just said it was your first time doing video, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you did an excellent job. You know, we do this every other Friday. So if you ever, free, come join and watch the show sometime. Invite people to come out. We got what we're doing in 2023. We're taking our group, those who are interested, and we're going to go to St. Thomas. So what we're going to do, we're going to have guest speakers come out. We're going to do you want got you. You know what I'm saying? But we will bring these dynamic speakers come out, and what we're doing here, we're taking out in St. Thomas, and we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a conference there, so we definitely gonna be doing that. So stay tuned. We welcome you again. Well, thank you so much, and we're gonna go ahead and release you off, and we're gonna go ahead and tie it up and wrap it up.
All right.
Simone.
Thank you.
Take care. All right, Roland. So we done it again. Another episode is done. We managed to get it under an hour and 30 minutes, but we're gonna try to still, get these things down to at least an hour. But that was a good conversation, really, to listen to and from her part and what she's going through, and obviously helping a lot of people as well.
Yeah, I got a chance to learn another side. That stuff I didn't really know about, but I got a chance to learn the other side. And you know what? While we were talking, just before we go off, the connection between the pastor and the psychologist, they should be equal. So, in other words, it's okay to go to your pastor and it's okay to go to your psychologist, but they should be saying kind of the same things.
Oh yeah, they should be. Yeah, you're right about that. But ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for tuning in. We're Roland and I. We wanted to make sure we share this too. We're not therapists. We're not experts on these subjects here. I'm
an expert on God stuff, though.
That's right. We're expert on God. We can talk about that. But just to protect us from that stuff, we want to say that.
Yeah.
But those who come back and watch it again, we hope you enjoy the show. Please jot down in the comment section, press like. Reach out to Simone, support her and what she's doing. Man, she had a great story and she's still doing it, man, because she's a tough woman, and whoever going to have her in her life, they're going to be very welcome and very, very happy and that they chose a good, strong woman like her, I like the fact how she said that she's don't belittle her man. She's talked to him, make him feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. That is so key for us, man, to really feel comfortable with our ladies. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That we can talk to.
If they want us to talk, that's
yeah.
Right.
If they truly want us to talk, let us feel comfortable when we come home. Let us feel comfortable when we sit down and talk to you, Yeah, so other than that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
You guys have a great night. And next week, no, not next week, we're off next week, but the following week, June 4th, we're going to have Terrell Simon on the show, T-Rex. I know I probably jacked his last name. I always jacked his last name, but T-Rex. That's right. Out of Harlem, New York. He's coming in on the show to talk about his latest song that is out. It's hitting the charts. Been on all the radios, a lot of radio shows. Been on Sirius Radio and Kirk Franklin's show. The Storm. So he's gonna be on there to talk about this latest hit and what's coming on, what he's doing. So Roland, man, once again, always a pleasure to talk to you.
Yes, sir.
Go and sign out. Good night, everybody.
See you next time.